Hi there, I'm Jack Canfield, co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and the author of the Success Principles, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And if you've ever attended any of my workshops, you've probably heard me talk about the power of aha moments. I'm talking about those moments where you experience powerful epiphanies that make you see something new or understand something in a new and deeper way. And it expands your understanding of what is truly possible in life. Well, today I'd like to share a few of those aha moments that I've experienced in my life so you can perhaps have a better understanding of what these epiphanies look like so you can recognize them when they appear in your life. Now, my first epiphany and major turning point in my life was realizing the power of writing and publishing a book. Back when I was a graduate student working on my doctorate in education, I was told of an opportunity to write a book related to my studies. And I decided to act on it. And that was the first book I wrote, which was called 100 Ways to Enhance Self-Concept in the Classroom. It's a book for teachers. And writing that book completely changed my life. Not because it made a huge amount of money. I only received about 25-cent royalty per book, but rather because I saw how many people read it and how impactful it was for those teachers who used it in their classroom and the kids who benefited from the exercises that they did. And it established my credibility as a valuable educator, which opened doors for me that had never been open before. Suddenly, I was being invited to all these conferences and events, and I was being asked to speak for schools. And before that, I was just a graduate student working on my doctorate in education, studying psychological education, which included how to teach students the skills of self-awareness and how to build and maintain high self-confidence and high self-esteem. And suddenly, I realized that writing that book had become more important than writing a doctoral dissertation. So I decided not to complete the doctorate. Truth is, I was tired of graduate school, and I was a lot more excited about the teaching that having a best-selling book in education was making possible for me. Realizing the power of writing a book that establishes you as a subject matter expert was a huge epiphany for me. And as a result, I encourage everyone that wants to establish credibility in your field to write a book. It doesn't have to be a bestseller, it doesn't have to be a long book, it just has to make a statement that you know what you're talking about. And if it comes from a sincere desire to uplift and assist others, all the better. Now, my second big epiphany in my career was when I realized that the kind of workshops I was conducting for people could be much, much bigger in size and therefore bigger impact on a whole lot more people in a much shorter time. Now, when I first started conducting personal development workshops, there'd usually be between 15 and 20 people in them. It's what I had seen other people do, so I thought that was how it was done. And then I heard about a training called Actualizations, which I decided to take in Boston. And there were like 300 people in it. And it was a powerfully transformational training. You see, there's a huge difference between running a workshop for 15 to 20 people compared to having 300 or 400 people in the room. The energy is much more powerful and the audience transformations happen much faster. And I remember leaving that training and thinking, I want to grow up and do that. And then I heard of another large group training company called Insight. And I went and took that training. And it was even more powerful. And I found that I resonated even more with it because it had a very deep spiritual approach to it. So I approached the president of the company and I convinced him to hire me and train me to be an Insight trainer. So I sold my house in Massachusetts. I was all prepared to move to Los Angeles where they were headquartered. But before I could move to California, the job that had been promised to me disappeared. It was rescinded. So instead I moved to San Francisco where I had a few friends, but no job. And after assessing my situation, I realized I needed to make about $3,000 a month just to stay afloat, just to survive. And I also realized that I could create a year-long training for 100 educators, and I charged them $30 a month. I would meet my goal of $3,000 a month, working only one day a month. So I rented a meeting room on a Saturday, one day a month in a church, and I started running my monthly workshops there. Now that was a big aha moment for me. The idea that I could make a lot more money serving a lot more people while still at the same time creating a lot more free time and freedom in my life so I could focus on my other endeavors, which included producing a newsletter and writing more books. Now the next big epiphany for me was when I discovered the awesome power of meditation and having spiritual practice like chanting, journal writing, accessing your intuition, qigong, and energy work. And when I added these to my life and my work, everything became easier and more effortless. It all started when I attended an evening lecture of an energy healer named Betty Bethards. She taught us a 4-part meditation that includes moving light through your body, repeating a mantra or phrase of your choice, then moving into a third phase of simply witnessing your thoughts and any physical sensations, and then finally visualizing yourself surrounded, filled, and protected by a radiant white light. Now, I still teach that meditation technique as one of the 4 that I teach in my workshops and trainings. Now, these daily practices were later deepened while I was a graduate student at the University of Massachusetts. My first wife and I had bought a piece of property with a large house on it, and we started running workshops there on the weekends. And a fellow graduate student by the name of Stephen Josephs was a Kundalini yoga teacher. And we would have him teach yoga and teach meditation in the mornings and some of the evenings when we were running longer workshops. And he introduced us to the power of group chanting. And one night, he did an extended breath of fire session in one of the workshops we were leading, and it had a really profound effect on me. I felt like I was stoned. I was in a state of pure bliss. And after he left, I found myself dancing around the house, singing to my dog, which I was holding in my arms. And when I looked at the trees outside, it seemed like they were swaying back and forth and singing as well, as if I were in a psychedelic-like Disney movie. And I felt one with the universe and all living things. And it was such a big awakening for me. I still feel that connection to this day. And I realized that there was a whole dimension of myself that I wanted to know a lot more about. And that epiphany sent me off on a journey to learn even more about meditation, mindfulness, and spirituality. And that journey has changed my life in so many ways. I discovered that when I meditate daily, I'm much more peaceful, I'm much more loving, everything in my life just works a lot better. And I also started incorporating meditation and other spiritual principles and exercises more and more into my trainings and workshops, which I think has really helped me and my work stand apart from a lot of others, and has allowed me to attract students and followers who feel like my teachings are more effective and in alignment with their beliefs and principles than a lot of other personal development experts out there. So not only did that aha moment have a profound effect on my personal life and how I was experiencing life, it also helped me grow my business and create the amazing life I enjoy now. Well, those are just 3 of the big epiphanies that I've experienced that have expanded my understanding of what's possible in my life and transformed my work. And so I encourage you to open your mind to new possibilities and constantly pay attention to the unexpected insights, the realizations, and the epiphanies that life brings you on your journey. They can be very powerful signposts that will point you in the true direction of your deepest dreams and possibilities. And I strongly encourage you to develop a meditation practice, as it is really a powerful way to prepare you to recognize and receive such life-changing epiphanies. Now, what I'd like you to do before you leave is to share an epiphany that you have experienced in your life that changed you or expanded your sense of what's possible in a really profound way. I'd love it if you shared your story in the comments below, because your story can help inspire others to seek out their powerful aha moments. And also, if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to make sure you like it, share it with a friend who may need it, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. And for additional tools and videos on how to meditate or cultivate mindfulness, be sure to check out the resource page on my website at JackCanfieldOfficial.com. There's a ton of free stuff there that you'll find really helpful. So thanks again for watching, and have a great day.